Hello everyone and welcome to this channel, and first of all, great thanks to Ans over on his channel. Now I don't know how to pronunciate his channel name correctly, so for those who came from his channel, because he did a shout out, and well, you're a great man. For those I would say, well, welcome, and let's start enjoying these shenanigans, I think. Well, first of all, those who don't know who Ants is, I'm gonna link his channel down below, and he was doing a T170 rebuild, not the restoration, a rebuild and maintenance, and I tried to help him out as best as I could. I do have knowledge of these machines, but there are also some things that I haven't really taken apart myself, so but still I was able to help him to get the machine running and maintained properly. So those who haven't seen those videos, the description's down below, and go check him out. He's a nice guy. So in the last video I mentioned about the steering bolster and power steering for this tractor, which is a Belarus MTZ-52, or for those who live overseas, it's a 520 or 520 Super. I mean, depends on where you live. They have different names. Now, I was debating in the last video on buying a new bolster, so let me show you what I got. So I went ahead and got myself another steering bolster, which has the correct pitman arm. It doesn't wiggle. The seal's not busted out, but we have to change it anyway because we're this far in. Because yeah, this one works. This came from a completely working tractor I know and trust, and the salvage yard that sold me gave me basically not only the steering bolster, they gave me also the front mounting bracket and the side rails. So I don't need those. I'm gonna return them sometime later, but just for the sake of dismantling, it was just easier to take the entire assembly than just only the steering bolster. So I noticed this one also has leaks. This pinion seal leaks. There's another O-ring. This one leaks. There's the shims. We have to check out what's going on here. Now these ones leak. There's no ring there, but there's also no ring behind this one. And we also need to change this cover gasket here as well, because we have to take, if you want to change the O-ring and the seal here, we have to take the pitman arm off, and the entire shaft has to come out anyway. So the first job with this one is I need to clean it up and prepare it for disassembly, and then since I have all the parts, I can reassess and we can see what's in it. But today I don't really feel like doing this work. I may clean it up, but I don't really feel like dismantling. Oh, and by the way, get yourself this book. I mean, really helpful. This one was dirt cheap. They're about $30 to $40 on eBay, but I got this one for like pennies really. And you want to have one of these if you're working with older machines, older Belarus tractors. This is the kind of thing you need and want. However, now I'm going to show you what my real goal for this video today is. My true goal for this video today is actually something else that's been bothering me for a long time. And this is this drive shaft. Now, pay attention to the coupling. Yeah, the shaft's out, but also that coupler itself needs some attentioning. But this is not the worst drive shaft. Look at this one. Oh yeah. She's wasted. She is really wasted, and because this is the older style drive shaft that has, this actually should be a rubber boot here. The splines in here, they just wear out and you get hot garbage like this. Like, this is the first job. I do have another set of used drive shafts where I changed the U-joints. So we're going to put these on and get these hot garbage drive shafts out. Now, if you want the original one, they are about $100 to $120. The knockoffs, I don't really know how good these are, because I've seen people where the knockoff ones or the cheap Chinese ones are just twisted together. So you want a good one, try to salvage a OEM one or just buy an OEM one, because these cheap ones, they may be good for show tractors, never does any work, but for if you want to do any kind of work, get yourself the original ones. Don't be a wank, and don't be a cheapskate on money with these, because if these ones explode, the first thing they're gonna hit is the wall pan. So yeah, really dangerous stuff. Okay, enough about rambling. Let's get these suckers out from here. Okay, we have removed the flange and the drive shaft. Well, the drive shaft itself is okay, and actually, for those who don't know, you can use MTZ-52 U-joints. These are the same as the M20 Pro Beta has, and I think this drive shaft is also interchangeable with WAS, so that's not a big deal. But look what I found. Like, this here is the flange that retains the seal and retains also the flange. So the flange is okay, but look what I found. First of all, this seems to be the original OEM leather lip seal. These have been not in production since the 60s. I think this one is a generic seal. I don't remember exactly what it is, but I'll show it later. But look what else I found. Like, what in the French toast is this? I mean, is this supposed to be a seal? Did someone... It's just... I don't understand what the heck this is. It's not supposed to be here. And did someone try to tighten this thing, or is this all the freaking hay that's been twining between the drive shaft? Like, I don't know what the fuck this is. Really, no idea. So, as you can expect, there's a little leak here. Also, it's not the seal that's bad. Usually the oil just drives itself from the splines and ends up here. But we're not going to worry about that right now. What we do want to do is get this one fixed. And the one thing that really amazes me is all this goo and schmoo and hoover schneef that's almost everywhere, and it's really hard to get into anything. The good news is I do have all the parts, but I may have to actually do some cleanup, because all these parts are just dirty and I don't want to put back bad parts. I do now regret not buying the super scraper from Mortski's Repair. I mean, this thing, whatever it is, this is not even the original gasket. I mean, it's stuck. This is gonna be a hard one, and I don't have a gasket, but I'll make up something. And no, it's not going to be just silicone only. I'll just make a new gasket then. Alright, enough rambling. Let's get back to cleaning parts. Okay, I'm back. I mean, I was going to put the drive shafts on, but then I noticed something was not right. First problem I ran into was actually I couldn't get one of the drive shafts into place because there's just not enough clearance. And then when I, rolled over the carrier bearings and on the carrier, I discovered that there was something funny going on, and yeah, you have shot bearings inside. So I ended up taking this carrier bearing assembly apart, and trust me, this is a stuff of nightmares. It's not really, it doesn't come out easily. And the else thing I noticed, this is an aftermarket one, this is not the OEM one, because if you manage to bend one of these washers and one of these, I don't know what is this called, but it's pretty much just it's a washer as well, and you're dealing with a Chinese aftermarket one, because this assembly, I mean, everything else is good. So all I need to get this thing fixed really is new bearings, new seals, and maybe I can get 2 of these out of the store. Well, how I noticed this Chinese one, it's really simple. If you manage to bend these with a hammer, or they bend under press, it's an aftermarket one. OEM ones have steel washers inside them, and they are completely, also the number of these discs can vary from the older, from the 70s and 80s machines to the brand new ones they make now. So yeah, just be aware of that. And these actually are the washers, or you know, these are actually flat washers. These are actually like spring washers for the engagement. So yeah, we're dealing with a lot. And here you can see there's been rust inside, because once I opened this one up, I knew there was something funny with this going on. And the probable reason why these bearings are all out isn't because this is an aftermarket one. The real problem is it was full of water at some point, then no one lubricated it, then it ran with that water and who knows what oil inside, and that wiped out the bearings. And well, luckily it didn't wipe out the bearing surfaces, but yeah, this all needs to be cleaned. I'm gonna have to go to the store and order new parts. It's, you know, the carrier itself is very expensive, but getting these smaller parts is really inexpensive. This bearing is about $11 or $12. So it's not much, and the seal that goes, there's two seals, these are like $2 a piece, so they're inexpensive. But if your shaft's gone or any of your flanges are gone, also the O-ring needs to be replaced. Yuck, this one's bad. So I was thinking like, wow, it's like a easy job, but nope. Nothing on these machines is never easy. But let me show you the other Carnage I found while working on this machine. So, you want to see Carnage? Now, the first thing I'm going to show that I found is when you don't have the right pitman arm, the nuts that hold the drive shafts will just drop inside the steering rod, so that, you know, you'll not only are grinding with the head, also the flange of the front axle will rub inside the steering rods as well. So that was one of the problems that I solved a long time ago, but I was wondering, like, why was it rubbing, like why was there so much interference that this happens? Now I'm going to discard these nuts. There was 4 of them, and these are like really inexpensive parts. But the real thing is, like, remember that sloppy drive shaft? Well, look how much wear is in the splines. I don't know if you can see from here, but from here you can see that only the end splines are still holding. The other splines are already just completely gone. So this drive shaft, unfortunately, is just a part stoner at best. And now that we also know that the carrier bearing is bad, well, we need to deal with that as well. So we're gonna have to do something about it. So to wrap it up, this video, and not only being a dismantling episode, to wrap up things, we got bad carrier bearings, we had bad drive shafts, and we found some other bits and pieces that were more or less destroyed over the years. Now, I dismantled that mystery part, or whatever that was that came out from the you know, and it seems to be just hay and that has twined itself behind the seal. And yeah, that supposedly is a very common problem, that that the hay gets twined between the drive shaft and between that flange. So that's why the older style flange that has this cup at the end is a bit superior, because that actually keeps some of that hay away from the mating surfaces. So in conclusion, we have to repair those carrier bearings, and the carrier needs to be fixed. If it's not fixed, it's just going to be a huge problem. And those bearings were just completely gone and shot, so I didn't have really any other choice than just to go now and order new parts. Now, I don't know when they will be here, but in the meantime, I'm going to just do tedious cleaning job, tapping, cleaning threads, chasing new threads. Like, that's the kind of work that's not really desirable, but you know, if since we're already in it, we have to do it. We don't have really any other choice. So maybe next video or episode we'll be able to install some bigger pieces, and hopefully I'll have the carrier bearings put back and we have the drive shafts back in place. But who knows? This thing's been firing me back since October of 22 or 2022, so it's not going to be an easy ride anyway, especially if you have to overdo someone else's undone work or someone else's craptastic work that really isn't that great. So I'll leave at the end pictures of what we dismantled and what the inside looks like, so those who want to pause the video and have an idea what it composes of can do that. So I guess I see you all around, and stick around because we're going to dive even deeper than this. Oh, trust me, this machine does have some other nasty bits and pieces that the future me has to take care of. So anyway, come again and see you all in the next video.